Chapter 1: The Early History of the East African Coast, 1000 to 1500 AD. Nothing much is known about the early history of the East African coast apart from its early inhabitants, and these were the hunters and food gatherers. The coast was initially inhabited by Stone Age people of the Bushmanoid family, related to the South African Bushmen or Hottentots. Modern historians prefer to call them the Khoisan. These were a primitive group that had no permanent settlement and instead lived in caves and tree branches. They largely depended on food gathering and hunting and used stone and bone tools. The Bantu and Kushites later displaced these early inhabitants into the thick interior forests, while a large section of them migrated to South and Central Africa. The Hadzabe and Sandawe of Tanzania and the Dorombo of Kenya are said to be some of their survivors. The Bantu. The first group of people to move to the coast comprised of the Bantu from Central Africa. These came around 580 and occupied the southern part of the coast, that is to say, towns like Sofala, Malindi, Kilwa, and Mombasa. Their main occupation was farming, which explains why they settled in fertile areas around rivers. The Kushites. The Kushites from the second group of people who settled on the coast of East Africa. They are classified into the Northern Kushites and Southern Kushites. They perhaps migrated from North or Northeastern Ethiopia because of the Gala traits. They occupied the northern part of the coast and were cattle keepers with less interest in agriculture and trade. They were unwilling to absorb others and add to their civilization. The Gala, Rendili, Boran, and Somali are all clear examples of Kushites. The Arabs. The third group comprised of the Arabs and Persians by the 7th century had started flocking to the coast by the 1000 AD, had effectively established themselves and transformed the coast into independent states. They were the first non-Africans to come to the coast of East Africa. They came as traders, religious, and political refugees. With time, other group of people also started coming to the coast. These included Egyptians, Indonesians, Indians, Chinese, Roman, and Greeks. All these newcomers with time came to influence the culture, trade patterns, and political organization of the coastal people.